We turn to Capitol Hill and how lawmakers are responding to the attack in Orlando. We begin with Senator Dianne Feinstein, a Democrat from California. She is the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee. Senator Feinstein, welcome back to the NewsHour. I don't know if you've been able to hear the conversation we've just been having, but based on what you know, is it your sense that law enforcement, intelligence agencies did everything they could to do something about Omar Mateen before this happened?
Well, first of all, Judy, I have great respect both for Mike Leiter and Ali Soufan. So I very much agree with what they've had to say. With respect of dealing with the classic lone wolf, we're, I think, seeing the real problem. And the one thing that came out of all of this that I thought was good is that the Islamic community, and particularly the religious part of that community, is beginning to stand up, take notice, and say, no, this is not us, and say it over and over and over again. In this last perpetrator that really did such a dastardly event by striking at a lesbian and gay community that has struggled for equality over so many years, and now to have them subject to this kind of terrible event is just really awful. Having said that, I think that as time goes on, we're going to increasingly realize, as Ali Soufan spoke about, of how we get a counter message out in a way that's effective. I think law enforcement has responded. As far as I know, this country is responding with full resources. The FBI has sent an additional complement of men, of 80 men and women into Florida. They have a big number already in Florida. They are leading the investigation. Everybody is cooperating. And I think the investigation seems to be going very well. How you stop this does not seem to be going very well. This is a man, 9 years employed, good job, semi-law enforcement, wanted law enforcement, went to mosque, prayed, and somehow became so alienated. Now, whether this is from social media, whether it's from contacts, or whether it's really a displaced aggression, I don't know. But this is a big problem, and we're going to be stuck with it for a very long time, I believe.
Senator, I want to ask you about the fact that you are one of those in the Senate who is pushing this legislation to prevent individuals on a terror watch list from buying, obtaining a firearm or explosives. Why do you think you may have some success with that now when it's been impossible to pass in the past?
Well, I think people are beginning to realize that the Attorney General should have the ability to place people on the terrorist watch list and deny sale of weapons to them. And this bill essentially gives the Attorney General those regulations in law. In other words, she can move to take action. And that's what this bill does. I think it's very, very important. I think on another subject, the AR-15, this is a military-style assault weapon in its truest sense of the word. Big bullets, terrible physical damage. Look at the death rate, and I think more of that will come out. Not to take action. We tried after Sandy Hook. We failed. I tried after San Bernardino to get this no guns for terrorists through. We failed. This Congress has to realize that they need to step up, and we need to protect people now. And I think we've got a full component of law enforcement. I think we have relatively good intelligence. As Director Comey told us, there's an investigation going on in every state.
Senator, two things. If Omar Mateen, as you know, was not on a watch list in the most recent past, so he wouldn't have been prevented from buying a weapon. But second of all, the argument that many of your Republican colleagues have made about this is that there is still the potential that people who are innocent are on a watch list, and they would be prevented from buying a gun.
Well, then you can petition and prove that you're innocent and get off of the watch list. But, you know, if we want to prevent this, this bill was drafted actually during the Bush administration, when a terrorist, went back to Syria, an American, and said to everybody, now exploit the loopholes in America's laws and you buy weapons. Well, we've got huge loopholes, and it's wrong, and we've got to begin to close them one by one by one. The terrorist bill, no guns for terrorists, is a first step. Assault weapons is a second step. This man should not have been able, if he had been on the terrorist watch list, he would not have been able to buy that assault weapon. And I think that's important.